To call the special city council meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pat, would you start us off?
I'd love to. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes. Nina, please call the roll.
Councilperson Alvarez?
Here.
Councilperson Figurski?
Here.
Councilperson Geisthurst?
Here.
Councilperson Klan?
Here.
Councilperson Williams?
Here.
Councilperson Gully?
Here.
Councilperson Zilli?
Here.
Before we begin, I would like to ask for a moment of silence. We lost dear Courtney this week, and I'd just like us to have a moment of silence to remember her, please. Thank you, everyone. Just to let you know that her celebration of life will be here in this room next Wednesday from 4 to 7. So if anybody is invited to attend it. So I know there's a pretty good-sized group that's organizing that, so. We have new business public hearing, ARP fund additional appropriation.
Sure, and Aaron, I just want to give context as to why we're doing this again. So this was originally scheduled for the December 7th meeting, and we have since learned that there's no indication that this was noticed. We've asked for indication that it's been noticed. The papers have no record of this being noticed. So upon Attorney Whitten's recommendation, we need to redo this public hearing. Nina, we asked at the meeting if this was noticed, and you said yes. The papers have no record of it.
Colin, I sent them the email. Why?
We've asked,
I have no idea.
we've asked you for
really
that
want to
email.
Get into this?
We've asked you for that email, and you haven't provided
You
it.
didn't ask me for the email. And
We
listen,
asked
I don't
you for
work
any.
you.
Nina, you work for us when you're our secretary of this council.
Sure, and not that way. You're not going to berate me like this in public.
Nina, I'm just asking a question. You were asked at the meeting if this was noticed, and you said yes. There was no indication. We've asked for documentation of this. The papers have no record of this.
And I don't know what to.
So if I could just jump, so she's indicated that she emailed it to the papers. I mean, that's probably as far as you're gonna get.
We've asked for proof of that. I
I
asked.
shouldn't have to. That's freaking ridiculous.
But Nina, we need to ensure with federal dollars that this is done
no
correctly.
kidding, Colin. So it's a good thing you checked.
Yes, it is. But we have no indication that this was
questioned it
done.
when I never got an invoice for the claim.
Nina, the papers have no record of that email coming through.
I don't know what to tell you.
I received, when I noticed this meeting, an immediate confirmation from the paper that they
That's
received
great.
it.
That's wonderful that you have time to keep up and keep track of that.
It showed up as soon as I sent the email. I hit send and it showed up in my inbox. So my question is, why, after we've asked you to provide confirmation that this meeting was noticed on December 2nd, or December 7th, was it not provided to us? I mean, that was a public hearing that should have been noticed.
No kidding. And I told you I sent the damn email. Enough's enough.
Well, we've asked
I'm
for
not a
proof
child,
of that.
okay?
I've asked for proof of that, and it wasn't provided.
Okay, it's duly noted, guys.
So, Madam Chairman, I would suggest that you formally open the public hearing on the ARP fund additional appropriation.
Okay. I'd like to open the public hearing on the ARP fund additional appropriations. Is anyone here to speak for? Is anyone here to speak for the additional appropriation? Is anyone here to speak for the additional appropriation? Is anyone here to speak against the additional appropriation? Is anyone here to speak against the additional appropriation? Is anyone here to speak against the additional appropriation? If not, the public hearing is closed.
All right, I will, Dan, do we need to read this now, or
Again?
look on the?
So, what's your question? I'm sorry.
So we passed the resolution already. Do we need to
Yes.
re-vote on that?
You certainly do.
Okay.
Yep.
So Debbie, can you go ahead and read that? since
We
you
need to
read that last
reread
time?
it?
Yes.
You could do it by title only.
It's been read into the record, so we're good? Yeah.
Okay, so this is the additional appropriation resolution 21-20. Let the record reflect it's been read already in its entirety.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Is there any discussion? If not, Nina, please call the roll.
Councilperson Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilperson Prigorski?
Yes.
Councilperson Geisers? Yes. Councilperson Clem?
Yes.
Councilperson Williams?
Yes.
Councilperson Gully?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. We have the introduction of ordinances. Salary ordinance amendment
Yes.
2021.
I will go ahead and take that. Ordinance 21-14, an ordinance amending the 2021 salary ordinance, be it and it hereby is ordained by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Indiana. Hereafter, the council as follows, whereas the Common Council passed Resolution 21-17 in September 2021 and adopted the state and local fiscal recovery fund plan in November 2021, and whereas the Mayor of Portage has deemed employees of the City of Portage essential as defined in the American Rescue Plan, Section 1, that the 2021 salary ordinance shall be amended to include the following new section. Section 4, 2021 COVID essential worker hazard pay. All employees of the city of Portage actively employed on September 7, 2021 shall be entitled to hazard pay as part of the American Rescue Act. All full-time employees shall receive hazard pay equal to $1,000 gross. All part-time employees shall receive an amount equal to their full-time equivalency prorated from a maximum of $1,000 gross. This hazard pay shall be included in addition to the employee's 2021 salary listed in section 1 of this ordinance for their total salary in 2021. Let the record reflect this has been read in full. Motion to suspend.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Is there any further discussion?
I just have one question. So because this is reflected of the 2021 salary ordinance, once we pass this, will that hazard pay be paid out within the 2021 year
It will
yet?
be paid on the 31st.
So we don't have to do it again for 2022? Okay, very good.
I have a question.
Thank you.
You said salary. So is this gonna be a separate check?
Yes.
And is this gonna be considered a bonus salary, which is different taxation, or is this gonna be under regular wages?
It's regular
deductions?
wages. It has to be.
Yeah, it's I think $13 an hour is the maximum we can do on top of their pay. So it's considered wages under the law.
Okay, and that's what it reads under that act?
Yep.
Okay,
And so then we'll have a separate payroll register and summary for the ARP fund, so it's good for state board.
fantastic. Thank you. That's my question.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. The 2022 Indiana Bond Bank Advance Funding Ordinance.
Yes, Scott, could you take that for us?
Sure. Indiana Bond Bank 2022 Advanced Funding Program, Ordinance 21-25. An ordinance authorizing the city of Portage, Indiana to make temporary loans to meet current running expenses for the use of the general fund, insurance fund, motor vehicle highway fund, and parks and recreation fund of the user in anticipation of and not in excess of current taxes levied in the year 2021 and collectible in the year 2022, authorizing the issuance of temporary loan tax anticipation warrants to evidence such loans and the sale of such warrants to the Indiana Bond Bank, and appropriating and pledging the taxes to be received in such funds to the punctual payment of such warrants, including interest therein. I'd just like to read on the second page the dollar amounts that will affect the various funds under Section 1. General Fund, $15,796,673. Insurance Fund, $250,000. Motor Vehicle Highway Fund, $2,100,000. And finally, Parks and Recreation Fund, $1,011,000. The record reflect this ordinance has been read in its entirety.
Motion to suspend.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have petitions, remonstrance, and public input. James, would you like to say anything? Are there any other matters to come before this council? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I have a transfer resolution that I was able to get compiled today that's cleaned up November appropriations. I will tell you that originally, because of the 27 pay issue, originally the thought was to process the hourly payroll on the 31st, like normal. However, the budgets don't have the funds, they don't have the appropriations or the funds to make it until January. So that payroll will post on the 1st, along with the salaried employees, in order to offset any financial hardship or problems with any staff, the ARP premium pay, that's why that will post on the 31st, because that's when the normal paycheck would have hit. And then the rest of December's appropriations will have to get cleaned up at the January meeting, because we just had payroll Friday. And after posting it, it's terrible. I said that we didn't have the funds when we adopted those, when you guys adopted the contracts, but no one listened.
So I just have I have one quick question on things you brought up, the 27th pay. Did the staff get notified?
No, they will. They will now.
But,
I was going to let you guys know first.
which you sent an email out, what was that, a few weeks ago
Right,
about it?
and then after I'm doing the clean up the appropriations, I'm like, my God, there's no way, we can't do a payroll on the 31st for the hourly.
Okay. But
It has to be posted on the first when we have a new appropriations.
I understand, I understand the logistics, but don't you think it would have been a good idea, being as we were talking about this for months, to at least let them know it was coming?
Yes.
As opposed
In a
to,
perfect
here it is
world,
the
that would be great,
21st.
But there's been a lot of thought to it in different scenarios. Colin, I know once in Champion for the 15th and last day or the 1st and 15th, that doesn't work for hourly employees.
This has nothing to do with their new
But I'm just
payroll.
saying,
Yeah, that's
different scenarios have played out. We
I
have a new
understand.
payroll vendor, it was discussed with them, we thought of different scenarios that would work best.
But we've known for a
There's
while
one
that there was
payroll
a
person in
27.
my office that does
I
payroll
understand
and
that.
everything else for the entire city.
But we've known for months that there was a 27th paycheck that would need to be moved.
What does it matter? Payroll's
Because-
not changing because
Nina,
one
One person at a time
Nina, it
speaking.
matters because employees are expecting a check on December
and
31st.
they're gonna get one for $1,000.
Okay, first of all, it won't be $1,000.
Okay.
Taxes are gonna come out of that. It'll be $500 for most employees.
That's
Secondly,
not
secondly, the pay is gonna post on January 3rd. First is a holiday.
Correct.
Second's a Sunday.
Correct.
People are expecting a paycheck.
There's nothing else I can do.
I understand that, Nina. But we've known about this since October. We had a conversation at a budget hearing that
Do you really
in
think it would
staff.
have made any difference?
Yes.
And I can't, how can I
Nina.
communicate
One
something I'm
person
still
at a
figuring
time
out?
speaking.
Nina, we knew that this was coming, and staff need to be informed about
I'm pretty
this.
sure staff knows.
Okay, Nina, not all staff knows, for one. We have a responsibility to notify them that this is happening. We cannot just move their pay without telling them. It is now 9 days from when
Their
this will happen.
pay
Nina,
is-
please let me finish. They are expecting a paycheck on December 31st. People have loans that are paid out of paychecks. They have made payroll deposits
Okay,
to their
Colin,
deferred
it is
Nina,
not. No,
Nina,
I'm not.
Nina, let me finish. They have payroll deposits that need to be changed. They have deferred comp. They have payments that they may be making on December 31st and expecting a paycheck.
Where do you think the deferred comp comes from?
Nina, they may have adjusted their deferred comp earlier in February because there was a 27th paycheck this year, which will result in them either over contributing or under contributing. There are a variety of issues with not informing staff in an adequate amount of time. What if they have a mortgage that gets paid on December 31st, if their mortgage payment comes out? They are expecting a payroll on December
Considering the
31st.
holiday, I doubt that.
Well, you don't know that.
Well, that's fine. We could go over this all
Nina,
freaking night long.
You've known about this since October 8th, when I brought this to you.
It
that there would
doesn't
be a-
matter.
it does matter,
Oh my
Nina.
God, do you know
Yes,
how
it
much
does.
work I have to freaking do in a day, Colin?
Nina,
For Christ's
I
sake, it's not the top
understand
of my
that.
list.
So
How long do
making
you
sure
want to continue to
employees
talk
are not
about it?
paid on the day they're
Alright,
expecting a
let's
pay is
not-
not at the top of your list. This has
You
been
know
since
what I mean.
October 8th, and I've asked you
Colin,
numerous
I know,
times.
the whole PD knows.
Yes, I understand that, but that doesn't
I've
mean
had
every staff
conversations
member knows.
individually with other employees, just
Nina.
because there's not been a mass freaking email.
Nina, employees have a right to
This
know
meeting
that their
should have
pay is
lasted like
being
10
moved.
minutes.
It is now nine days when this is gonna happen. You informed us via email, I think, last Monday on the 6th, that this would be happening.
Yeah, and then you started throwing a fit because it wasn't the way you wanted it to go.
Nina, that switching to biweekly pay has nothing to do with moving their paycheck. That has nothing to do with this.
What?
Switching the payroll for next year has nothing to do with the fact that
Why
you're moving
wouldn't I
their
have
pay.
it sorted out entirely
You
before
could
it
have
was
informed
communicated?
staff that this was coming, that they would not be receiving a paycheck on December
And
31st.
people wouldn't be happy about it if I told
Okay,
them.
okay.
It isn't
back
about
then
people
or
being
to-
happy.
Order!
It's about informing our staff of what's
Order.
going to happen with their payroll.
Order.
Yo, Z.
So staff should have been informed of this weeks, if not months ago, when we discussed this at a budget meeting, what we were gonna do. We knew we were gonna move this payroll.
Colin, we knew?
Yes, we
We
talked
didn't
about
know,
this at a
right,
budget
but
hearing.
we, it was not at a hearing.
Or budget meeting, for 5 of us in the
Colin,
room.
it was still being worked out of how it was gonna be done.
And we knew that there would be a
Why would I
27
send out
paycheck.
a half?
Okay, we've made our point. Does anybody else have anything to say?
Will there be an email sent out tomorrow informing
Yes,
our
now that we know-
employees
yes.
of the current payroll situation?
Yes. Would you like me to include that that the hourly is gonna get it on the 1st because there's no
Whatever,
corporations?
anybody's payroll that is switching should know this. We cannot just switch their payroll without informing them.
It's-
They need to know that it will not
It
be
is
there on
one day,
December.
because of the holiday and the way
It is
it
not
falls, it
just
is what
one
it
day.
is.
The holiday is gonna delay
Okay, but
this till
nothing
the
gets
3rd.
processed in the bank when the banks are closed on Sunday.
And I understand you
holiday.
can't do anything about that. I understand that.
I could-
But we've known it was gonna be on a holiday for weeks. We knew that we were gonna move their payroll from December 31st to the 1st, and that it would be on a holiday. And then there would be a Sunday, and then they would get their check on the 3rd. They need
Right.
to know that.
For salaried employees too.
I understand.
Now
that.
it changes the dynamic with the hourly.
I
You
understand that, but
Before I miscommunicate something, I wanna
you
make sure
wouldn't have
what it
miscommunicated.
is.
You would have updated and said, now this is gonna affect hourly employees. But you could have notified the staff that we knew this was gonna affect.
Do you understand what that kind of, so I send that kind of communication goes out. Then Carrie's phone and email blows up
Yes.
constantly. Do you understand her workload too?
I
right now?
understand that, Nina.
No, I don't think you do.
Nina, I do
Okay,
understand it,
okay,
but they have a
we
right
made
to
the
know that
point.
we're moving their payroll.
Okay, we've made the point here, so, sorry, this is kind of after the fact, but Nina, I did speak to someone whose salary is gonna be affected, and they knew nothing about it, and this was just a couple of days ago. So I do feel that employees should have known, because we have known. We have known this was gonna happen.
Right, and I
feel
understand
like
that.
it's really unfair to our employees that they were not informed. And a simple email, this is the days of technology, so a simple email, just briefly saying what a 27 pay is, and that's what happens. It won't happen again for 11 years. But I do feel that our employees, because now my concern is kind of like Colin's. If I have a house payment that's due on the 31st and it rolls over to the 3rd, it's going to roll into another year as well.
Well, that's
So
just
is that gonna
You may not
affect
have the
their?
funds in your account. It
Yeah,
could be
well, there
auto
won't be
deposit or
funds in
auto
the
deducted.
account.
Some people do.
So, you know, some of us are lucky enough to have additional funds in our account, but not everyone is like that. So I think in fairness to our employees, we should have given them
I
more heads
understand,
up.
but it took me, it took time to even get our payroll clerk to understand the 27 pay. Not everybody knows it or understands it. She never had to deal with it, and I don't want her to get attacked either.
Well, I get that, but the thing is,
And that's what
I think
happens.
we've been talking about this for a long time, and we've gotta stop waiting till the last minute to do things. We should have jumped on this a few weeks back and let people know, and we just didn't. I mean, we gotta quit doing that. Is there any other discussion?
Well, we have this transfer resolution. This isn't on the agenda. This was sent to us an hour before the meeting. I understand it.
It was on the agenda that I had created.
I understand that,
and
but
it took time
Nina,
to figure out the
I-
amounts, Colin.
Nina, I said that things needed to be the
Well, I
council
don't
by
care,
Friday.
then you guys would be getting written up as from the
Nina,
city board.
I directed in my email that any items for this agenda, we set the agenda, not you.
I understand
Need
that,
to-
but you have
needed-
to, you have to dribble the ball.
Nina, that they needed to be to the council by Friday at 5 p.m.
Colin,
This-
payroll payroll wasn't done till Friday. How am I gonna be able to help clean stuff up?
Nina, I said that this needed to be to the council by
Then don't
Friday
do
at 5
it.
p.m.
I don't care.
It showed up
That's
an
on
hour
me. It'll be
before
in
the
minutes.
meeting.
I presented it.
The council can vote to add it to the agenda, but this wasn't on the agenda.
Okay,
I sent the
you just don't
agenda at 5
understand
o'clock
how
on
things
Friday.
work. Things take time.
Nina, I
couldn't have it done. How could I have it done
Nina,
on Friday?
Nina, you had asked for this meeting on the 21st, so you knew that we were gonna need
I
to do
also- yeah.
additional things.
Sure, yeah, transfers.
You asked
I
us
had
to move the meeting at
Colin,
10 o'clock
You
at
think I
night.
can just whip it up and I have the answer right in front of my head?
Okay, we have transfers the council, Colin,
It is
if
not
you
on the
want
agenda.
to approach your council, if they want to vote on it, please do that now.
I'll make a motion to add it to the agenda.
Why can't it just be under other business?
Because it's not on the agenda, Nina.
Why can't it be introduced under other business?
It's irrelevant.
The
Colin is
council
bringing
president,
it up.
the council president has the prerogative to add things to the agenda. This was not provided to us. It was given to us an hour before the meeting. I am not adding it to the agenda. If the council wants to add it to the agenda, I've made a motion to do so. 4 members can vote to add it to the agenda.
So we
And
will
will
need a
consider it.
second to Colin's motion. Do we have a second to Colin's motion to add the transfers onto the agenda?
So I have a question. If we don't vote to add this to the agenda, what are the repercussions if we wait until next month's meeting? Was it, you know what I mean?
It'll get written up for having negative appropriations.
So then it's in our best interest as a city that we do this tonight.
Yes.
Having said that, I will second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I just want to know, since this affects so many departments, Nina, have the department heads been informed of these changes?
They never paid, they don't know. It's already been done. They don't request it. It's just like always just been cleaned up after. I'm not saying that's the way it should be, but that's been historically how it's been ran.
I guess.
And then the clerk treasurer would come to the council after the fact. I'm trying to stay ahead of it.
Well, I think part of staying ahead of it is.
And the department heads, they have to know, they can't just keep spending if they don't have the money in their budget.
Well, I guess that's
Fuel's
my.
a different story, but.
Excuse me, I guess that's my point. Are the department heads expecting money that is proposed here to be moved, and they're expecting to be using that money to clean up any expenses for the end of the year?
No, ultimately, it falls on me to make sure that it gets cleaned up, because no appropriation should go negative into an amount. And the way things have been ran previously, it's not matter. People just spend without checking to make sure that they have the appropriations for it.
So your answer to the question is that the department heads are not aware of these changes?
I mean, a perfect example, I think, of this is motor vehicle highway fund. We're moving $145,000 to personal services. Does Randy know that this is coming out of other services and charges? He may have a planned expenditure there. He thinks he has an appropriation. Now he won't have an appropriation.
No. Well, people just not get paid. They went to hourly.
I understand.
I had to back out health insurance and pay for it out of another fund in order to free up appropriations
But
to be able
see,
to make a transfer.
Here's my point of receiving this.
I've warned about
more-
about MEH budget since January of this year.
Right.
Since January.
This is my point about receiving this before the meeting. An hour before the meeting, we have not had a chance to ask any questions about why these are the way they are, what's being done. We haven't been able to check with
Did you
department
ever
heads.
ask before?
Nina,
I really have to wonder if you ever asked
we have asked
the former
plenty of
treasurer
time. Yes,
questions.
we did. We would ask him questions about why things were not on the,
And then
why
you
things were
just
added to the
make
agenda.
stuff up and you believed it.
Okay, let's not get petty here. We're deliberating on whether we're going to allow the transfers. So
I'll
we
call
have
for
a
the
motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilperson Pigorski?
Yes.
Councilperson Geisthurst?
Yes.
Councilperson Clem?
No.
Councilperson Williams?
No.
Councilperson Gully?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli?
No. I'll make a motion to adopt. There were 4 votes added to the agenda.
I'll second the motion to adopt.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Please call the roll.
Councilperson Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilperson Pigorski?
Yes.
Councilperson Geisthurst?
Yes.
Councilperson Clem?
No.
Councilperson Williams?
No.
Councilperson Gully?
Yes.
Councilperson Zilli?
No. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Well, I hope everyone has a wonderful.